In this video, you're going to find out how the new Champions League format is the biggest money move in modern soccer, and who's getting obscenely rich off of it, thanks to you. For decades, we thought we understood the Champions League. We thought it was about 22 players, a ball, and eternal glory. But what it's really about are mind-boggling contracts and behind-the-scenes deals that are shaping the future of this competition. For the 2024-2025 season, we're not just talking about a simple update. A completely new format has arrived, and with it, a massive flood of money. To understand the sheer scale of this change, we first have to talk about the sponsors of the old format. Those brands that became synonymous with magical Champions League nights. They aren't just advertisers. We're talking about the biggest companies in the world. Think about Heineken. The green logo and the red star have been part of this tournament for over 25 years. To put that in perspective, when Heineken signed its first deal, Kylian Mbappe hadn't even been born. Heineken doesn't just sell you beer. It sells you the experience of enjoying the game with your friends, the tension before a penalty, the thrill of a last-minute goal. They've invested billions over the years so that when you think of the Champions League, your brain almost instinctively thinks of their green bottle. And then we have MasterCard. It's one of the most valuable marketing campaigns in history. They don't sponsor soccer, they sponsor priceless moments. The look on a kid's face seeing their hero just feet away. The tear from a fan watching their team lift the trophy. They tied their brand not to the result, but to the pure, unshakable emotion of the journey. It's a marketing masterpiece. These giants, along with PepsiCo, laid the foundation. They proved the Champions League was more than a sporting event, it was a global cultural platform, a goldmine capable of connecting with hundreds of millions of hearts, and of course, wallets all over the world. They invested fortunes, yes, but in return, they got something invaluable: worldwide loyalty and recognition. They built the road that new companies now want to dominate. The old model was stable, predictable, but the world changed. The way we consume entertainment was radically transformed. We no longer all sit down at the same time in front of the same channel. We live in the streaming era, and UEFA realized that its format, while successful, was leaving money on the table. This is where the new sponsors come in. Paramount Plus found its secret weapon to compete: live soccer, a Trojan horse that let them into millions of homes. By securing the Champions League rights in key markets, they're not just buying soccer matches, they're buying instant relevance. They are forcing millions of fans to make a choice. Either you subscribe or you miss your team's games. It's an aggressive and brilliant strategy. In a world saturated with shows and movies, live sports are one of the few types of content that are appointment viewing and generate massive conversation. And they're not alone. Just Eat Takeaway is a food delivery company. So what are they doing sponsoring the biggest soccer tournament in the world? It's simple. They've identified the fan ritual. What's the plan for a Champions League night? Order a pizza, some wings, something to snack on while you scream at the TV. Just Eat isn't sponsoring the event, it's sponsoring your convenience. They're integrating themselves into the modern fan's consumer habits. Every time you think about the game, they want you to think about ordering takeout. All right, let's talk about the new format. Forget the 8 groups of 4 teams, that's history. Welcome to the league phase. In previous seasons, there were 32 teams. Now the 36 best teams in Europe all compete together in one single massive league table. Instead of playing 3 opponents twice, each club will play 8 matches against 8 different opponents, 4 at home and 4 away. This new season marks the beginning of a new and exciting era, not only for the Champions League, but also for the Europa League and the Conference League. However, participation in these competitions will remain open and based on sporting merit. So why this radical change? The answer boils down to 3 key reasons, and they all point to the same thing: making way more money. First, in the old format, many of the final group stage matches had zero excitement for viewers, causing the numbers to drop. With the new system, every single match is crucial, keeping the tension high until the very end. The teams that finish in positions 1 through 8 will qualify directly for the round of 16. The teams ranked 9th to 24th will have to face off in a knockout playoff round to join the top 8. Teams in positions 25 through 36 will be eliminated from the competition. Second, the draw now guarantees matchups between the biggest clubs right from the start of the season. No more easy, predictable group stages. Now we could get the biggest games in October. These matchups, once only dreamed of for the semifinals, cause the value of TV rights to skyrocket from day one. Third, the math is simple. More teams and more games. The new format adds 64 total matches, creating golden opportunities for ticket sales, merchandise, and above all, more advertising for sponsors like Heineken, MasterCard, and Paramount+. In the previous cycle, the Champions League was already generating revenues of about 3.6 billion euros per season. With the new format, the most conservative projections point to a jump to nearly 5 billion euros annually. Where does that money come from? Television rights are the main source of income, with Sky Sports, TNT Sports, and Paramount Plus paying over 2.5 billion euros in Europe. A single league phase match can generate 20 million euros in advertising. Sponsorships from major brands exceed 60 million euros annually, with exposure worth anywhere from 1 to 5 million euros per knockout match. Clubs benefit from prize money for participation, wins, and draws. Reaching the final and winning it can generate over 150 million euros in total revenue, a figure that shapes a club's financial future. More money, more matches, more spectacle. It sounds perfect, but all this money has a dark side, a shadow cast over the real stars of the show, the players. We've turned elite soccer players into global celebrities, pushing them to the breaking point. An elite soccer player competing for their club and country can play over 70 games in a season. This leads to a high risk of fatigue-related injuries and mental burnout. We're pushing the envelope too far. Is one more game worth it? And then there are the smaller clubs. The new format gives access to 4 more teams, but the economic gap between the big clubs and the small ones is only getting wider. The billions fall to the usual suspects, creating a vicious cycle. More money, better players, more prize money. Meanwhile, mid-tier teams struggle to survive and watch their talent get poached by the giants. This new format consolidates power in the hands of a few, cranks up the pressure on players to unsustainable levels, and threatens the competitive balance that, in theory, is the essence of the sport. The big question is whether they can keep it under control in the long run, or if eventually its own appetite will devour everything. The money keeps flowing, the anthem keeps playing, and we'll keep watching. But now, we'll be watching with our eyes a little more open. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think this new format is good for soccer? If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this.